Hoping we can be joined this hour by Rohan Davey. And I want to talk to Ro. It's always good when we can chat with Ro about whatever. But in particular, the NFL Scouting Combine is getting underway this week in Indianapolis. And today was measurements. And so one of the big storylines, and I hope you all understand that I'm saying that while vomiting in my mouth a little bit to say the big storyline, is that Joe Burrow's hand is 9 inches from pinky to thumb. And so that's how they measure from, if you just hold, like, spread your fingers, or sprawl your fingers, your 4 fingers and your thumb. And if you measure from pinky to thumb, that's how they measure. And Burrow was 9 inches from pinky to thumb. And this is something that always seems to come up as if it's a big deal or not. This was Baker Mayfield's hand size or whatever. And apparently Joe Burrow has a smaller hand size than even Kyler Murray from a year ago, and the same hand size as Ryan Tannehill and Jared Goff. So we're breaking down hand size at the Combine, and there's actually an ESPN stats and info data which says of the 35 quarterbacks drafted in round 1 since 2008, the average hand size is between 9 and 7/10. Has been 9 and 7/10 inches. Rohan Davey did go through the NFL Combine and had his hand measured. So I wanted to get some real life experience from someone who's had their hand measured at the Combine. So Rohan joins us now. What's up, Ro?
What's happening? But you're not about to get no real stats from me from the hand measuring thing, though.
Why not?
Because I don't remember what my hand measurement was.
What if I had it here and I could tell you?
Oh, what was it?
Your hand measured. Damn it! I had it earlier. Now it's gone. Oh, here's it. I was trying to stall a little bit. You were. Where's that damn thing? I had it earlier. Hang on.
Let me tell you something. As long as it was above average, because I guess that hand thing do come into play sometimes, man. When you got to hold the ball one and run away, you want guys. I'd be interested. What is Tua's hand size?
Tua, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Tua and Justin Herbert both had 10-inch hands.
Really?
So both of them have bigger hands than Joe Burrow. Like, I don't know, man.
Joe ain't dropped the ball like Tua.
Thank you, man. It's like, I've basically been making fun of this all day. I do think that there are things that you could learn with scouting combine measurements and things like that.
Yeah, that's not one of them.
I don't think that hand size is one that is we talk about it this week in February every year around the Combine, and never during the season does anybody ever bring up hand size, right? Like, you're not watching Sunday Night Football and a receiver drops a pass. You go, oh, I remember back in 06 at the Combine, his hands were 8 inches, 8 7/8. It's
right.
Like, come on.
Right. I think hand size matter more for a receiver, anybody that's going to receive the ball, than it does the quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, if you've been playing quarterback your entire life and now you get to this point and you've been successful, I mean, your hand size, that's the least thing. Ain't nobody worrying about that.
What is beneficial with the Combine?
I think the interviews are really beneficial. You get to hear what's going on out there about you. And by interviews, I mean when they every team is supposed to, I think when I was coming, I think it might have been like 8 minutes. I think it was when you sit down with each team or the teams that you think are most interested in you. Because that's what you get going in, at the teams that are really interested in you are the ones that's going to, set up the interviews with you first and all that type of things like that to try to, give you an understanding of who's interested.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the interviews are really, really beneficial. I think that, if you're a guy that's like fast, like you're fast, and you're underrated, I think that if you go to the combine and work out well and then back it up with a good workout at your pro day, I think, guys that are like kind of on the bubble or whatever, I think that's a good way for you to kind of make a splash or get seen twice, do it good the first time in Indy and then back it up at your pro day. But it's so time consuming, and you're so strapped for time at the combine. As far as most guys usually get in, late at night. Your interviews sometimes go into the wee hours of the morning. I'm talking about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and usually whatever your group time is, you're getting up at whatever stretching is at 6 a.m. and you're on the field for 8 or whatever it may be. So it's not really, in my opinion, a place conducive for you to perform at your optimum level. If you're fast, you're going to be fast and run fast all the way. But, if you can survive on about 3 to 4 hours of sleep, then you'll be fine. Other than that, you're in trouble.
I did there's a couple other things I wanted to get into as well. What about and I want to do 2 segments because I want to talk about a former LSU quarterback who's still trying to make it. I think you can give a lot of perspective on that. But the other thing that I wanted to ask specifically with the combine is, what are you drinking? I heard ice.
Hey, yeah, man, I'm drinking a cold beverage.
Okay. What's in the cup? Is it a strawberry daiquiri?
No, I don't drink. Listen,
strawberry margarita?
The last time I had it, no. Listen, the last time I've had a strawberry daiquiri or a strawberry margarita was in your presence, unfortunately.
That's a big mistake, man.
Clearly.
All right, hang on. All right, so you mentioned the interviews. The other thing that I've always been told is so critical about the combine is the medical. What was that process like for you?
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Yes, absolutely correct. But, when you're going through it, it's a pain in the behind. Of course, I had a knee injury. And so for me, the medical was a nightmare. I actually spent more time at the doctor's than I physically did flying, interviewing, anything else. I promise you, probably 20 hours at the doctor's, and I was only at the combine for probably 2.5 days because I didn't perform. I didn't do anything. I left.
Mm-hmm.
And
you did run your 40.
Not at no combine.
They have your 40 time from the combine.
I don't know who they got that from. I ain't run at no combine.
Wow. They have your 40 time as 4.74.
I ain't run at the combine. I ran at LSU.
Okay. Maybe they clocked you like running down the street.
They must have. Because I left, man. My medical was horrible because I went. My medical was good when I first got there. We all went to see the doctor. They, re-examined me, do everything. I was at the doctor for 8 hours. As soon as I got off the plane, I went straight to the doctor. And when I left there, I thought everything was over. Went, checked into the hotel room, got a call, and it was like, oh, we need you to come back and do medical. I had to do my Cybex test again. And now you got to understand, I'm not the only one going to do this. So it was like you go back there and it's like 120 other guys in front of you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it was the medical. I understood it, and I understand they got to do their due diligence. But it was the medical was very, very frustrating. But you know what I've heard over the years, it has gotten better with the medical, because I'm sure that's something, a point of emphasis that they've had to address, bro. Because that was terrible.
Rohan Davey's with us. It's Combine Week. Joe Burrow had his hand measured. I can't find your hand measurement, but I think I did. I found it earlier today, and now I can't find it. I can't find it right now.
Huh?
It was like 9 4/5 or something like that, or 9 7/8. I don't know, but you were
small, man. I thought I'd been like a 10-8 or something.
Tua has a bigger hand than you. How about that?
I would have never guessed that, but hey, I still got enough. We'll get it done.
You know what they say. Quarterbacks with small hands. You know what they say about them, right?
No.
They wear small gloves.
Oh. The other one is the shoe thing. It must be.
Opposite ends of the football world as Joe Burrow and the rest of the NFL hopefuls descend upon Indianapolis for the combine. Today, Burrow's hand measured at 9 inches. That's some kind of controversy because it's small, whatever. On the other end of that spectrum are guys trying to get back in to the NFL or keep their NFL dream alive. And that's something Rowe knows about it and played in NFL Europe in the Arena League. There's two things in particular I want to talk about. One, I want to start with is Johnny Manziel. Not sure if you saw this weekend, Rowe, and for anyone who's listening who missed it, Manziel tweeted over the weekend, Oliver Luck, who, by the way, is the commissioner of the XFL. Oliver Luck, if you want to boost your ratings to another level, send me the contract tomorrow, and we're in there. Like I said years ago, XFL 2020, give the people what they want. Manziel would later come back and say that he has no desire to play football at all. Ro, what's your thoughts on the possibility of Manziel playing in a league like the XFL?
Well, I mean, it's an opportunity league. But honestly, man, I mean, Johnny Manziel has had a lot of opportunities, and it seems like Johnny Manziel needs more than football. And it seems like he needs to do something else, man. Focus on getting himself together, because a tweet like that and then a tweet like that right after that, it's erratic behavior. You know what I mean? The XFL is for guys that are seriously, and they're trying to brand that league. He's a big name, obviously, but they're trying to brand that league for guys that are, in my opinion, serious about football. They're trying to catapult themselves back, or get to the NFL. So at this point, for me with Johnny Manziel, it's kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? It's not the XFL. I don't think needs Johnny Manziel in that league or need his name in that league for them to keep trying to, get close to being that catapult league for the NFL.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt there's still interest, right? I mean, the fact that we're talking about it here shows that there's interest. So if you're the XFL and you're looking for television appeal, Johnny Manziel would bring that. But the question is if it would in any way legitimize the league. Like, if you were his teammate, like would you?
So.
Okay, go ahead.
It wouldn't legitimize it to me because I've seen Johnny Manziel play, and I think that's what everyone else would say too. Like, I've seen him play; he's had opportunities to play. If they think that big of him, that just him coming to the league would put that much more, draw that much more interest, or put that many more fans in the seats, or because it's an early league right now, we talking about it. But I just don't know how long or how far that will go with trying that project, because you just don't know what you're going to get from him.
Manziel played in the Alliance of American Football. He also spent one season in the CFL. Would you as a teammate want him on the roster?
I would want anyone on the roster that's serious about winning football games and about the team being successful. Me personally, I wouldn't. If I was in the quarterback room or a quarterback were in the room with him, I wouldn't, just because of, or I would have to have an open mind initially, of course, and to see if what I've been seeing in the past or the behavior is the same as what I'm seeing in front of me. But I would be very optimistic. I wouldn't be too optimistic. Excuse me.
Rohan Davey is with us, who still owes me dinner, by the way.
I owe you and my baby.
Yep, you do.
I ain't worried about that.
Zach Mettenberger, this is the last thing I wanted to ask you about. Mettenberger gave an interview and said he's surprised that the XFL hasn't reached out. Quote, "It kind of blows my mind that the XFL hasn't reached out to me. Really, it's just the opportunity to play football. I don't care who it's with. I'm not ready to get a real job. That's really it." Let me start with with Mettenberger, the football player. Then we'll talk about what life is like in that transition. Trying to decide when to exit football as a profession. What do you think about Mettenberger and the possibility of still playing football in the XFL or in the NFL?
Well, the thing with that is football, and especially the quarterback position, is transition. it's in a place where it's going to more guys that could do more, especially do more with their feet and be able to keep plays alive. And I don't think Mettenberger falls into that category, right? So it's at some point it gets to where there's new blood always coming in, year out. Colleges, I mean, turnover is ridiculous. Every year, guys from every like XFL now and colleges and you know everywhere, arena league, guys are coming in. So you kind of, you know, the place where he's in, he kind of got to try to keep yourself alive, keep yourself active in some way, shape, or form. And you know, if the XFL isn't calling and arena and Canada and those places aren't calling you, you know that's that's the times when you know, man, it's not necessarily that you can't or don't have the desire to do it anymore. It's just that the phone not ringing like it used to, and new guys are coming in, salaries are lower. It's so much that goes into it. So, you know, him as a player, he's been out of it a while now, and usually the longer you're out of it, the worse it is for you.
So
let's see.
he's going to play in the spring league. So he played in the spring league last year as well. And it's a 4-team league. It's in a controlled environment. Basically, it allows NFL teams to come scout players. And some guys have gotten plucked for NFL rosters from the spring league. They signed with the CFL or with the NFL. So he's going to play in the spring league again, which is coming up. But he hasn't played in the NFL since 2017 when he was with the Steelers. And then he played with the AAF for a brief while until the league, went belly up, and then spent last year in the spring league. For you personally, and you went, of course, NFL, and you went NFL Europe, and you played in the Arena League. How did you balance knowing when was the time just to say, that's it?
For me personally, it was when, as far as like when it came to like my kids, and one was not being in, just realizing that, you done missed so much time. Like when I started to just look back and evaluate and was getting ready to make that decision and see like pictures of my kids and they doing family things with their parents, with their moms, and I'm not in some of those photos. And now it's like, they're 14 and 13 and you chased your dream for so long. And, rightfully so, because it affords you some things to do some things that you normally, normal people wouldn't have done. So it's a blessing and a curse, Matt, actually. And so it was part of that, and just having too many damn storage units in too many places, bro. Mm-hmm. Like having things, having to move, and having to realize that, you got a storage unit here that you done forgot about that you had because you done moved so much. You know what I mean? So it was just all that, and then the phone stops ringing less and less. You know what I mean? It's just all that. You just know. You just know. You just know. All those little factors come together, and it's like, you know what? It's time to stop chasing my dream. Is over with. Because you know what the thing about it is? Because everyone thinks that your dream is to like get to like the NFL, NBA, to be an attorney, or to be the best broadcaster, to be the best radio guy. And they look at it as your dream was you accomplished your dream, you got there. But your dream is not just to get there. If you really, want to do something, your dream is to get there and to kick the damn doors down and, be all that you envision that you can be. And so it takes a while for it to sink in that you know what you know. Excuse me, this just ain't gonna happen. No matter, how far you go or how much you try to chase it or keep trying to, this just ain't in the cards for you. For what you thought it was.
What was the best thing you found in one of those storage units?
Oh, you know what? A brand new, two of them actually. I don't even remember how I had two, but a brand new Like it was like a Bose surround sound system.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I didn't know I had two of these.
You're such a fool. That's so good. Oh, man. You didn't find any Cole Haans?
No, I did. Of course. I found them. Man, let me tell you something. It was like Christmas all over again every single time. You understand me? And I didn't have 8 units. I had about 5. But every time I got one of them here, got one of them in the Baton Rouge, every single time it was Christmas. You understand me? I'm like, whoa. Air Force One's never even worn. Air Force One's never even worn.
So basically, you wasted a lot of money on shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. But I've got them now, so.
Well, you got them now, and underneath those shoes will be Dead Soxy, because as you know, all of our guests here on AFR get a gift from our friends over at Dead Soxy.
Oh yeah.
I know
I could use another pair of those.
I know you're a proud supporter of Dead Soxy. You're like a brand ambassador now. You've worn so many pair of Dead Soxy. Like seriously. I mean,
listen. I am a brand ambassador of Dead Soxy. Okay, those are my guys. Socks are comfortable, never fall down. Let me tell you something. I don't care what I do. Sometimes I even throw them on, put on my boots when I go barbecue.
You barbecue in your Dead Soxy and boots.
I sure do.
I love it. DeadSoxy.com. Use the promo code GEAUX, G-E-A-U-X, and get 30% off at DeadSoxy.com. All right, man. We appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your Mardi Gras, and we'll catch up somewhere down the line.
All right, partner.
Thanks, man. That's Rohan Davey spending a couple of minutes with us. Combine going on in Indy. Meanwhile, a couple of former NFL hopefuls are now hoping just to hang on. And Ro was there, man. I appreciate him sharing that experience and what was in the storage unit.